Welcome back to another episode of the Fine Food Freedom Podcast. This is your host, Sam Previtt, and I am so freaking excited that you're here. It is 8:15 a.m. right now while I'm recording. It feels like 8:15 p.m. My daughter had a fever yesterday at her daycare. She got sent home. There's a 24-hour fever rule, so she has to be home today. She's acting completely normal. No more fever. She's great. So like we're all good there. But we got two kids in the house. My husband and I both work remotely. So he's like, all right, I got a lot of meetings this afternoon. You can hit the ground running with work now. So he took the girls out for a walk. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm like, okay, pour my coffee, sit down, record. So I'm just like in an unhinged mood right now. And we'll do a little ASMR. I don't know if you can hear that. That's my iced coffee, a little slurp here. That's what we need this morning. Now, this podcast today is kind of going to be like a general pop culture, what's in the news related to diet culture type episode. But before, like, we're going to talk about this whole bullshit, like sunscreen. People are putting fucking watermelon on their skin in place of sunscreen. Excuse me, what? We're going to talk about SkinnyTok. We're going to talk about Weight Watchers and how they have filed for bankruptcy and my thoughts on that, which might be different than what you think, but just want to give a different perspective on that. So we're going to get into all those things. But before we do, I want to read a Fine Food Freedom win of the week. I just opened up we have like a client wins Slack channel. For those of you who are newer here, we at Fine Food Freedom are a virtual private practice made up of a team of 14 registered dietitians and certified intuitive eating counselors. So anytime I'm saying we, I'm speaking about our team, our incredible team. And we have a client win Slack channel where anytime a client like sends us something like some type of aha moment, some type of progress, we love to put it there. So sometimes for the Fine Food Freedom win of the week on the podcast, I'll pull things from there. They might be DMs from people I've never worked with or our team doesn't work with. Could be someone from our membership, someone who took our course, it could be anyone. But this one is from a client that works with one of our providers. This is with our provider, Grace Bridgeford, who also happens to be our social media manager. She wears many hats at Fine Food Freedom. She's incredible. And this is what one of her clients said. And honestly, I should only read part of this because it's a very long email. And I could split it up into many Fine Food Freedom wins of the week for the weeks to come. Okay, here we go. She wrote, "Hi, Grace. So I was sitting here reflecting and I had an aha moment. I've actually made so much progress. I can say that even though the scale hasn't changed, like food has so much less power over me. I wanted to document this for myself and some of the ways I realized this change, but also share them with you. I have a desire to move my body for me. No, I haven't been perfect in it, but before it was only to punish myself for my weight, to fix me, to fix what was wrong, my weight. Now I'm curious about it because I know my body would enjoy it when it's fun, dancing, walking, etc. I think about food differently. I don't just think about how I wish I could have air quotes junk foods, but I air quotes can't. I don't crave junk foods uncontrollably because I can have these air quotes junk food whenever I want. Doesn't mean I never crave it, but it's so much less often. Sometimes I even crave a well balanced meal. Not saying I never overeat, I do sometimes, but also it's so much less frequent and less for emotional reasons. I actually find myself enjoying certain vegetables and how I feel after a well balanced meal. I don't just do it because I air quotes have to or should. I just prefer how I feel." I'm going to stop there because this email goes on and on and on, but I think you're getting the gist here. Such an incredible Fine Food Freedom win of the week. This it's so like it brings me so much joy to share this with you because we get to see this day in and day out in our practice, but I think it's so important to share this for our listeners so you can see like what does progress look like when you're working with a certified intuitive eating counselor. Grace is incredible and all of our providers are incredible. And if you want to check your insurance benefits, because yes, we take health insurance. You might have this one-on-one virtual counseling 100% free. And most people don't even know that they have these benefits until they check. So you can click the link in the show notes to do that. You can go to Instagram, you can go to TikTok, just click our link and you can check those benefits. All you have to do is put in your insurance provider, the state that you live in. We will let you know. And if for any reason you are not covered, we will gift you 1 free month of the Find Food Freedom membership completely free, which includes 3 live coaching calls. So there's really no bad option here. Either you have free one-on-one counseling with our team, or if you don't, we're going to gift you a free month of our membership. I have always said time and time again on interviews, I want to help as many people as possible find food freedom and make peace with food in their body. And that's why we took health insurance. And that's why we created the membership, because we wanted to make this care accessible for everybody. Okay, I'm going to digress here. I'm going to go back to what we're talking about today. But before I get into the pop culture stuff, I have a note on my phone because remember, I told you I'm feeling a little unhinged right now. Sip of iced coffee. Okay, so I want to talk about things that are bringing me joy. And I think this is actually a really good practice for you when you're going through like making peace with food and your body. Now, I'm talking about like outside of food and body though, because I think when we're making when we come from diet culture, we're obsessed with food, right? We're obsessed with our body. We're obsessed with changing our body. Those thoughts about food and body take up like 100% of your brain space. And so then once you make peace with food and your body, I think sometimes what can happen is that like obsession with food and body can be transferred to something else. So I've talked about this before, and I'm happy to do more podcasts on this if it interests you. But when I started to really make peace with food and body, I noticed that like my obsession was going somewhere else. It was going in my work and like this tendency to be a perfectionist. And so I've had to really, really work on, and I've done multiple podcasts on this about like New Year's resolutions and how like every year I'm working on like contentment, joy, presence, like enjoying the present moment because I can so easily get lost in like future, doing better, planning, et cetera, et cetera. So, anyways, why I'm saying this is I have been trying to do like a daily gratitude journal. And when I say journal, I wish I had time to journal pages and pages and pages, but I don't. And I'm just not consistent. So, what I've been doing is I'll write down like one thing. It could be one word, it could be one sentence, it might be 3 sentences, but I try to write down something that I'm grateful for, something that made me smile each day. And I'm laughing because as I sat down to record, I did it really quick. And the 2 things that came up for me, which like are making me laugh, are press on nails and self tanner. Now I'm looking at myself in my Zoom room tomb right now while I'm recording this, and I have a white shirt on, and my husband literally called me Carrot Top as he walked out the door. So I'm learning with the self tanner. Okay. I am a huge advocate for like skin checks and skin safety when it comes to sun damage because your girl is a millennial. And what does that mean? I went to the tanning beds every damn day starting in like 8th grade. And my back looks like a fucking possum has attacked me because of the amount of excisions that I have had, where not only do they scrape a mole off, but then the mole comes back irregular and they have to check the margins and they have to dig and you get stitches and it's like fucking terrible. So I cannot go out in the sun. Like I cannot I cannot bake. I used to literally put baby oil on me and like burn and go in tanning beds. It's like, no shit. I have these irregular moles now. So I was just living the pasty life and I'm about it. Like, there's nothing wrong with being pale. But I looked in the mirror and I was like, gosh, I look like a corpse sometimes. And I don't get outside a lot and I don't want to be in the sun. So I was on a content creator trip in Utah. I was with, which I need to do a whole episode on that shit. I was with 17 mom content creators plus myself. I was 18 and they were so cool, so trendy. Like, I was so heavily influenced by these influences. And the one had this self tanner and she looked like golden bronze. And I was like, I got to try this out. So, as of like yesterday, I would say I was more like tan. Now I'm orange. I am orange. I can own that. And I'm learning. I'm learning. I'm growing. I'm evolving. And so I got to figure out the self tanner amount that works for me. I did like 2 days back to back. But I will say, just even looking at myself, I'm like, okay, I'm not the color of this white shirt now. And there's nothing wrong with being pale. I'm not yucking your yum if you are a beautiful, like porcelain skinned person, but I felt like a corpse. And because I can't go out in the sun because of my sun safety and my irregular moles and all of my stuff, I'm like, I want fucking self tanner. I've never used it. I've never got a spray tan, which, like, I know you girlies have been getting spray tans and have known those secrets. I gotta learn. I gotta learn. Okay. So self tanner has made me fucking happy because I don't look like I've been locked away in a basement for 4 years and never seen the sun. Now, these press on nails, okay, girls, come close. I put this on my Instagram story and I'm going to scream it from the fucking rooftops. Okay, I went to New York. Was that right after I went to Utah? I was home for a day, then I went to New York. I was in New York for a Eucerin event. I shot a commercial with them. I worked on their Radiant Tone line. I did a clinical trial. It was fucking amazing. I did not have time to get my nails done. Um, Actually, I had a staph infection in my nail. Fucking disgusting. I went and got my nails done and now I'm like traumatized. Got a staph infection from a nail place. Couldn't get my nails done because it was like under my nail. Fucking, that's another story. Okay. Another story for another day. Me and my dermatological issues. So I couldn't get my nails done. And I was like, I'm going to this event where like I have been the content creator on this campaign. Like we're going to be taking a lot of photos. I'm literally going to be holding product. Like I can't have my fucking staph infection nail just shining in the front of everything. So I got press on nails. Now, I didn't have time. Again, my influencer girlies in Utah, she was like, girl, I do press on nails. I was like, those look incredible. What the fuck do you mean you do press on nails? No one tells me this. I've been paying $80, $60 to $80 to get my nails done every few weeks. Fuck that. And then getting staph infections. I'm never getting my nails done again. Hear me right now. Drop the mic. I'm never getting my nails done again. Okay. So I ordered these press on nails that my girlie told me about in Utah, but they couldn't come in time because I was home for one day between Utah and New York. So me and my toddler took a trip to Target because it's 4 minutes from our house. I was like, they gotta have press on nails here. They did. They had the ones with glue. Excuse me, those were the worst ever. If you're someone who's like, wait, I've tried press on nails, but they were the glue ones, don't just throw them away. They don't work. The entire event, they were like popping off, and I would like run to the bathroom and like glue it back on. Terrible, terrible. So I don't even know the brand. I'll put it in the show notes. I'll fucking link you some press on nails because they are life changing. Okay. These are peel and stick ones. I think the brand is like FX Color or something. I don't know. I'm going to link it for you below or in the show notes. But you literally peel it off like a sticker and you press it onto your nail. These nails that I have on have been on for over a week and a half. I'm taking care of the toddler. I'm fucking changing poopy diapers all day, every day with a 1 year old. These nails have seen some shit over the last week and a half and they're going strong. And guess what? Now, if it pops off, I didn't even have the audacity to think it would last over a week. They're $9. They could last a fucking day and I would be excited. So your girl ordered a shit ton of them. I will never, ever get my nails done ever again. You can hold me to that. These things are bringing me joy because your girl was paying or like 60 to 80, I forget, depending on what I got every few weeks. In this economy, absolutely not. Okay. Now let's go on this. Let's go back to the self tanner and do a nice bridge over into this sunscreen fucking bullshit that I'm seeing all over Instagram and TikTok. I need to do a video on this, but for now we're doing long form content. So I'm gonna pull up one of my favorite pediatricians that I follow, Dr. Lauren Hughes, her account is Bloom DPC. Again, that's Bloom, Bloom DPC. And she just did a wonderful post on this. So right now there is a trend in like the Maha crew that is saying that sunscreen causes cancer and they're not using sunscreen anymore on their children, on themselves, and they are like putting fucking rubbing like watermelon or eating watermelon or some fucking shit. Okay, so Dr. Lauren did a beautiful post on this that I'm just going to read because it's better than me pulling this out of my brain. UV radiation is a known carcinogen. The sun is what gives you skin cancer, not sunscreen. Let's discuss how this happens and why watermelon or whatever BS wellness someone is trying to sell you isn't going to protect you. So I'll link this post in the show notes below so you can read it. But that's what's happening right now is people are trying to say that sunscreen is what's giving you cancer, not the sun, and they're eating watermelon instead of putting sunscreen on. Let me raise my hand as someone who has gone to tanning beds and burned myself time and time again by the sun and had many irregular moles. I've had over like 8 excisions on my body to date. It's the sun. And eating watermelon or rubbing watermelon on you is not going to stop you or protect you from the UV radiation. Okay? It's 2025. I can't believe I have to say that. But here we are. Here we are. I think sometimes the shit I read or the shit I see on social media, like from wellness BS, I like almost don't even want to talk about it because it angers me that this even is like what we're talking about. Like we have come so far, like we could be so much further on things, but yet here I am telling people, hey, you know what? When you eat watermelon, it's not going to protect you from the sun. Like, isn't that fucking insane that I have to say that? Like, it makes me feel insane. I'm like, am I the insane one? No, it's the person saying eat fucking watermelon to protect your fucking skin. Ugh. Okay. I feel like I have nothing else to say on that right now. I'm just going to link Dr. Lauren's post in the show notes. Okay. Let's move on to SkinnyTok. I did a entire episode on this on RIP diets with Emily Lubin, like when it first came out. And I also posted on this on Instagram, but let me just make this explicitly clear because if you're someone who listens to this podcast, chances are you're trying to find your way with your relationship with food and body, and seeing SkinnyTok can probably be really triggering because there's all these people that are doing hashtag SkinnyTok that are they're trying to say that it's not dieting, that it's not diet culture. Let me be explicitly clear. It sure is. And here's why. Okay. And this gets confusing. And I think this is where like the water gets muddy, the line gets blurred, and this is important to hear. Weight is not a behavior, right? Weight is not a data point. Let me give you, or sorry, weight is a data point. Jeez, Louise. Weight is a data point. Weight is not a behavior. Okay. So if we are looking at what are behaviors that impact our health, okay, drinking more water, eating a variety of foods, moving our bodies in ways that we enjoy, resting when we need rest, stress management techniques, sleep hygiene, eating enough calories, aka energy, so all of our organs can function properly, right? So when we look at that, those are behaviors that we can engage in that are going to impact our health in a positive way. Now, SkinnyTok, hashtag SkinnyTok, and I'm saying TOK for those of you who are like, are you saying talk like TALK? No, SkinnyTok, hashtag SkinnyTok on TikTok. The entire movement is based on getting skinny, losing weight. Okay. Now, this is where it gets muddy. The behaviors that these people are engaging in, they might be walking more than they previously did. They might be drinking more water than they previously did. They might be focusing on sleep. They might be eating more nutrient dense foods if they were eating, more highly processed foods before, which is, again, there's nothing morally wrong with that. Let me be explicitly clear. But what's happening is we as a culture, we engage in these behaviors that we know impact health in a positive way. And some people will experience weight loss from that. And then they'll say, I feel better because I lost weight. No, 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 no. You feel better because you're engaging in behaviors that impact your health in a positive way. And you just so happen to lose weight. But if you're only engaging in the behaviors for the intention of losing weight, that's where we need to raise a red flag and we need to recognize, because people will say this time and time again about intuitive eating. They're like, so you don't think I'm healthier if I drink more water, or like, you don't think there's a benefit of eating more nutritious foods? Absolutely. I do. But the difference is, in intuitive eating, we're engaging in those behaviors because we want to, not because we have to. And with SkinnyTok, the entire mission and goal is getting skinny, aka shrinking the body, and a diet is intentional weight loss. So yes, that is diet culture. And it feels very like it feels like a millennial, like I feel like I'm back in the 90s where I'm being sold like it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. And like, yeah, it's crazy. So again, I think there are people, this is why it's confusing. I think there are genuinely people on TikTok or wherever engaging in skinny talk content, trying to make healthier behaviors because they want to, but then they're basing their progress off if they lose weight or not. And that that goes right back to dieting. So there is nothing wrong if you want to improve your health. And what I mean by that, if you want to drink more water, if you want to get more sleep, if you want to engage in stress management techniques, if you want to eat a more variety of foods, if you want, like, those are all positive things. But again, what is the intention? And the intention with Skinny Talk is to shrink the body, okay? Which is AKA dieting. Now I'm going to bridge that boop right on over to Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers has filed for bankruptcy. And when I saw that, of course, my first thought was, fuck yeah, finally, finally, right? I was pumped. I was like, good, burn in hell. And there is still a part of my brain that thinks that, says that, wants that for them. But here's where we gotta come together for a second and recognize what's going on. Why is Weight Watchers filing for bankruptcy? Okay. Let's go back to why have they been so successful? They've been so successful because everybody, through the entirety of, as long as Weight Watchers has been around, has wanted intentional weight loss, right? People desiring weight loss will keep Weight Watchers in business. So then a thought goes, okay, well, they're filing for bankruptcy. So this has to be a win, right? This has to be a win. Like, people aren't wanting weight loss as much. No. What's going on? Let's talk about it. People are not only wanting intentional weight loss, but now we're going to an injection. We're going to a physician prescribed medication to get that said weight loss. So Weight Watchers didn't file for bankruptcy because the anti-diet movement has been so popular that people don't want intentional weight loss anymore. Weight Watchers filed for bankruptcy because everyone and their mom is taking Ozempic. And that's why, I mean, Weight Watchers was one of the first of these dieting programs to work with, like, to get like that third party of physicians that could prescribe the medications within the Weight Watchers program, because they knew this was coming. And don't call me a psychic, but we're going to clip this. We're going to clip this whenever this little section I'm going to say right here, whenever Noom files for bankruptcy. I want this to be clipped with a date. It is Thursday, May 15th, and I of 2025, and I am speaking into existence and manifesting that Noom is going to file for bankruptcy. Any business that is saying that behavior change alone can give you intentional weight loss is going to file for bankruptcy because these medications are taken over. And for those of you who are listening to this podcast that you're trying to make peace with food, you're trying to make peace with your body, it's fucking hard right now because everyone and their mom is taking these drugs. And I want to so clearly say to you, if you're taking the weight loss drugs, if you are considering taking them, I genuinely mean this. There is no shame or guilt that needs to be felt. I do not think less of you. I have an entire episode that I did on like help. Everybody is chasing intentional weight loss and taking these drugs, and I don't want to. What do I do? The majority of people listening to this podcast, you probably don't want to take those drugs because of the journey that you're on. But I want to be clear, like we do have clients that are taking the drugs or thinking about taking the drugs. And I don't blame them because the world that we live in is so fat phobic. The society that we're in is so driven by intentional weight loss. And it's really, really hard. And like diet culture was already triggering enough. It already like digs its nails into us. But now these drugs are just like a whole nother level. And so when it comes to Weight Watchers filing for bankruptcy, I want to be very clear that, like, yes, I am glad because fuck them. Like, they have just profited off of people's insecurities for so long. And the amount of clients that when we sit in session, they're in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and they say their dieting experience started when their mothers took them to Weight Watchers meetings and put them on the scale. Like, fuck, Weight Watchers can burn in hell. But, or and, it's like it's sad because it's not going bankrupt because intentional weight loss isn't sought after anymore. They're going bankrupt because everyone's shooting up medications. So we have a long way to go. We have a lot to do. And again, my mission of this podcast of Find Food Freedom is not to convince you to not do drugs or well, okay, let's talk about which drugs, right? My mission is not to convince you to not take weight loss drugs. You have body autonomy. You get to do whatever you want with all of the information you take in and you make those choices, right? But it is my mission to share what a life of food freedom and making peace with your body can be like and how these drugs impact that in the culture that we're in or for people that are taking them individually. So those are so many podcasts in and of themselves. So if you scroll back through the Find Food Freedom podcast, you will see I've done many podcasts on weight loss drugs, and that's all in the titles. So you can see there's many different ways that we talk about them. So yeah, we did a lot today. We covered a lot today, from self-tanning to press-on nails to sunscreen and Weight Watchers and SkinnyTok. Who knew it would all be bridged together so beautifully? So if you enjoyed this podcast, please, 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 it would mean the world to me if you would go to Apple Podcasts and rate it and review it. Just leave a comment on what you liked, what you didn't like, what you want to see more of. The more I hear from you, the more I can help you. And don't forget, if you're listening to this and you're like, holy shit, I didn't know I could work with a dietitian one-on-one covered by insurance. Please, please, please click the link in the show notes below. Get your benefits checked. We would absolutely be honored to support you on your journey. See you next week.